Hola familia, it's Alex. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. So as you guys can see for the title, today I am finally here to talk to you guys about all these little palettes that I have in front of me from Essence. I have been testing these out for about 2 weeks or so, on and off. Instagram, because I have been posting some looks on Instagram. I think I have a look with every single one of these palettes on my Instagram, but I haven't posted everything. So I'm here to talk to you guys quick about them and then rank them just like I did with my e.l.f. bite-sized little palettes or the quads, whatever you want to call those. So if that's something that interests you, stay tuned. But first, if you're new to my channel, welcome to the familia. My name is Alejandra. I'm an eyeshadow enthusiast with a dash of Project Pan. If that is something that interests you, subscribe, join us, and now let's get on with this review and ranking. Alrighty folks, so we are here to do this ranking. Let me stop making all those funny things because apparently I'm not authentic. I'm gonna give you guys real quick the rundown of these palettes because I can basically talk about them as a whole. I can tell you right off the bat, I don't feel like there's one palette that is a dud or one palette that is worse than the others. They're very different from the e.l.f. ones that came out as far as formula goes, and those I did have some duds where I have completely decluttered some out of my collection and some I preferred more. These I feel like are a little bit different. So let me get down to it for you guys. All right, as you guys know, Essence came out with these. These are 6-pan palettes. They are 6 in total. They all have different color stories. The big thing that comes out of these is that they're $4 and you're getting 6 shadows. You're getting an array of mattes, metallic-y shimmeries, and some of them have a satin shadow in them. I will tell you off the bat that I do not feel like one palette is better than the other. I feel like at the end of the day, this all comes down to personal preference as far as your color stories go. Not one palette that I have in front of me here do I feel like it performed terribly on my eyes. I had a hard time using. I had a hard time bringing to life what the color story was portraying. I feel like all of them did a well-rounded job in doing that. They all, no matter which one you get, they are all powdery. They all have powder kick up. They all have fallout on them. They blend really nicely on the eyes. I had no issues blending any of these out or having any patchy mess with these. They are formulated different from the e.l.f. If you're wondering how close are they to the e.l.f. one, as far as formula goes, I feel like these Essence ones are a lot more hard pressed in here, but that is not a bad thing because you're still getting enough powder color pigmentation to them, but you're still getting the powder kick up. The difference I would say with the e.l.f. ones are a lot softer. So I feel like with those, you're able to hit pan a little bit faster and you can get a thicker amount on your eyes than with these. These I feel like you could build up better and it's easier for those that like to build things up and don't want something extremely pigmented on the eyes. I can see myself grabbing a few shades when I am in a rush and not feeling like I need to take too much time with them. They're really, really good. For the most part, and I'm saying this for the most part because you're gonna hear it, I don't feel like one palette is too close to another one. And I'm saying for the most part because there's only 2 that I would say that to, but the rest really stand out on their own. And that's a major difference with the e.l.f. ones because the e.l.f. ones, there was quite a few of them that I felt like were pretty close. You can do away with not getting all of them in your collection. The other thing I will say is each of these stand alone as far as their own color stories where they're not monochromatic. I did not feel like with any of these, no matter which color combo I was using, was I gonna get the same look. These are not monochromatic, which I can appreciate because again, there was quite a few in the e.l.f. collection that were very monochromatic and you were limited to the color combos and the end result looks that you were gonna get. With these, I don't feel like you will. These will give you a nice array and differences in shades and tones and finishes that I can see quite a few different looks with each of these palettes on their own and you're not gonna feel like you're getting all the same tones and undertones and shades where you're not going to get too many different looks on your eyes. So that's something to note as well. The last thing I will mention is don't think that these are going to be extremely amazing and oh my gosh, are the best thing on earth. They're actually pretty good for the drugstore, and that's where I'm going to leave it at, the drugstore. I'm not comparing these to high-end. I'm not comparing these to luxury eyeshadows. Drugstore, as far as drugstore eyeshadow, these are pretty good. They're up there. I can see why they're being hyped up, because for the drugstore, this is actually pretty good. And the fact that you're getting color in these, and they're very tiny. Look how tiny these are. So it's actually pretty good. You're getting a mirror with each of these as well. For $4, I think that is awesome. See the little mirror right there? Each of them have a mirror. The names are on the back of each of them. So if you care to have names for the shadows, they are there as well. So that's something I want to end with, because I don't want you guys to think like, oh, these suck, they're terrible. Don't compare these to luxury, because that's not fair. But if I were to compare them to e.l.f., I'll let you guys know which ones are my favorites, because I do have a formula that I prefer more. Now we're going to get into the ranking. Now I'm going to put it out there right now. As far as the ranking, this is not going to be ranked as far as the best to the worst as far as formula. Because again, I feel like there isn't one dud in here. There isn't one palette that I feel like sucked on my eyes, or I had a difficult time with, or it didn't show up on my eyes. That was very clear with the e.l.f. one. With these, there isn't. So I'm going to rank these according to my preference, according to how I like them, how often I'm going to reach for them, which ones could I've done without with, and maybe you guys can take that and then maybe apply it to your own personal preference and see which ones you would like. Because I don't think you're going to be disappointed if you buy any of these, whichever color story you get. I think you're going to like them. You may not love them, but I think you're going to like them. They're not terrible at all. So I'm going to go ahead and start ranking these. All right, so number 6 goes to 2 palettes. And I'm going to explain to you guys why I feel like number 6 will go to 2 palettes instead of just 1 palette. Because here's where I said that most stand out on their own, and this is where I feel like maybe they could have changed it up a little bit. So for number 6, I am choosing, I like to mauve it, and taupe it up. These, woo! Telling you guys, did I just break it? Let me check. Nope, it's good. Okay. These are my number 6, and let me explain to you guys why these are number 6. I know a lot of you guys are going to like the mauve it. You guys know I'm not into mauves too much, but I wanted to use all these to test these out. The main reason why I feel like these are number 6 is because I feel like these are the only 2 out of the whole entire collection that are way too close to one another, that if you're going to want one of these, just pick one. Don't get both, because they're very, very close to one another. If you'll see close-ups of everything, but if you see the taupe and the mauve, you can see an overlap as far as their shades go. The mauve one has a gray toned in here, and then the taupe, these kind of mix in with the purples. This purple actually looked like a gray on my eyes. It didn't actually stick out to be like that dark purple. It ended up looking like a dark gray. It ended up looking just like this shadow right here in the taupe one. So I feel like these 2 are very similar. You're getting grays in here. I actually used both of these palettes together, and I couldn't tell the difference between where I got my grays and silvers from, because they were just super similar. Even this tone right here, these 2 matte tones, this one's a little bit lighter than this one, but they both are very, very similar. So my recommendation, if you are interested in either one of these 2, decide which color story is more your tone. Are you into these, the grays and the silvers, or do you want a little bit more purple in your eye look? Because if you're going to get both of these, I feel like you're going to end up getting the same looks or the same type of vibe going. There's not a big drastic change between these 2. If maybe they would have went a little bit more purple in this one instead of deeper gray purple, I think that it would have been a difference. But because I feel like these 2 are the same, these both are number 6. And I'm going to give you my honest opinion. If I were to choose between one of these going back, and if I could return one, I would actually return the mauve one and keep the taupe, because in my personal collection, this one would be more unique to my collection than this one. And I actually am digging this color story a lot more. This doesn't show up as a boring gray than I expected. Like, this is a nice pop of color. This is like a gray beige, a grayish on the eyes, and it matches perfectly with this shade right here that even shows up on my eyes. I actually prefer this one over this one, but for the sake of trying to recommend to you guys, pick whichever one you want of these two. I don't think you need both, but that's why I'm saying these are number 6, because I could have probably grouped 6 shadows out of all these right here and came up with just one palette versus having these two. Okay, so for the number 4 spot here, I am gonna say Ice Ice Baby. For the mere reason, I don't reach for a lot of blues, but let me tell you, this was so much fun. I wore this in a video and I got a ton of compliments on my DMs and on Instagram when I posted this, the look that I did with this palette. This was really nice. For a blue palette, it's super nice. These mattes in here are a lot better than the Beauty Bay blue mattes that they have in the big palettes. I think this is great. These silvers are awesome. They really stick out and they are in your face. Even this matte gray beigey type of color, I didn't think it was going to show up on my eyes, and it did. It's beautiful. I really enjoyed this palette. The reason why it is number 4 is because it's not my personal favorite, but even wearing it with like this shirt right here, I think it would look beautiful on the eyes. I liked it a ton. I really enjoyed this one a lot. So this is my number 4 spot. Number 3 goes to the Coral Me Maybe. And these names are so adorable too, you guys. This one is one of the top ones out of all the palettes. And I think it's because it's your more neutralish type of palette that the formula is really, really good on this one. It really stands out. But again, I think it's because it's easier to formulate neutrals than it is to formulate colors. The color story in this is gorgeous. It's warm tone. I love the fact you're getting these lighter mattes, but then you're able to ground everything together or smoke it up with this dark brown in here. The 3 shimmers in here stand out. This is more like a rosy kind of color. This one's more pink, and then this is a gold one. And I've used them all, and they really did look like what you saw in the pan. You can lighten this up or you can make it deeper. So I really like this one, and the color story is really nice. I can see myself grabbing this a ton in the summertime, quick and easy and to the point. And the formula of this one, or the colors in here that they put in here, are really, really good. Number 2 goes to Bronze This Way. Again, I feel like this one is super, super good as far as the formula goes because it's more neutrals. But this one won over the Coral Me Baby because the formula is even better with the shimmers in this one. These shimmers in here, wow, they are beautiful, beautiful metallic in your face, what I love. The mattes, you're getting a brown, you're getting a red brown, and then you're getting this beige. So you could take it quite a few different ways with this palette. Obviously, it's only 6 shadows, so you got to consider that, but you're still getting a nice difference between the shades that you can do quite a few color stories without it seeming to be the same. So this one is number 2 because the formula out of all of them, I think that this is the best formula, outstanding one, my favorite one. When it came to the shimmers and the softness and the creaminess of it, this one by far is the best one. Now, if you think that that was the best one, and it should have been number 1 as far as formula, but of course my color story had to go to the number 1 for Dancing Queen. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. This is a beautiful color story. My favorite color is green, so of course this was going to be number 1 in my personal preference because it is greens. I love how my eye look turned out. It doesn't show extremely green on camera. I don't know, when I look back at the footage, it may, but in person, you can see that I have green hues, but it's not super vibrant in your face. If you want color, this collection is a great way to get it without feeling like you're breaking the bank. You're getting extremely out there bright colors. These are more user-friendly colors, or more toned down to be able to be used in the workforce if color is limiting to you. I feel like this was a great one. These 2 shades, my only downside to these 2 shades, I used these 2 today again, and obviously the green stood out a lot more than this one, but I feel like this one looks more like a gray than it did a green. So I'm gonna try to do another look where I'm just using this one on its own with one of these shimmers to see how it looks like on the eyes, because these 2 put together looks really nice. but I feel like this one just looks more gray than it does green on my eyes. And that could just be me because I'm pairing them together constantly. So I'm going to try it differently. These metallics in here are beautiful. I love that I'm getting this green, which I have on the outer part. This one right here I have in the center, which is like a yellowish gold. And this one, oh, it's so, so pretty. It's like a light mint gray green. It's so, so pretty. This one is my only downside. This is a satin. This is not even a matte. It's a satin and it's very faint. Out of all the palettes, out of all the colors, I would say this is my least favorite. My absolute least favorite. It barely shows up. I tried it as an inner corner highlight today. It really didn't show up. This is more for like a brow bone highlight, a very soft. See how that looked? A brow bone highlight. I don't know if I messed up my eyeshadow or not. But I would feel like this is like a brow bone highlight or like a very subtle face highlight. It didn't really, how do I put it? Its brothers and sisters really stood out. And that one was more like, kind of eyeshadow. So this is the, if I'm going to be honest, this is probably my dud. Out of all of the 6 palettes, this is probably my dud. The one I didn't like the most. But it's there. It's still wearable. It's just a very soft satin type of shadow. If that's something that you like, that might be something great. But I was more of a fan of these down here. To wrap everything up, you guys, I'm just saying, just pick one of these two. And my personal preference, I would have went 6.5 because I feel like I like this one better than this as far as color story goes. But both of these are perfectly fine. I just feel like these are way too similar. And there's colors in each of these that could have just been one palette in itself and maybe done an actual purple palette to have a purple palette. Out of all of these, if I were to go back, I would probably not buy the coral because it's so common. And I would actually choose the bronze one because this one, the formula was just so much better than this one, even though this one was the second best formula out of all of them. I feel like this one is just too common for me, even though this is common as well, but the formula is just so good in this one. Overall, I think this collection is great. I personally prefer this whole entire collection as a whole more than the e.l.f. as the whole entire collection as a whole. In the e.l.f. one, I felt like some of the color stories were way too repetitive within themselves that I was only able to get one look without having too much of a difference or pulling in something else. 2 of the actual quads were terrible. I completely got rid of them. I thought they were horrible. The blue one and the rose water were absolutely terrible to me. I got rid of those. And I feel like these are, you're getting a little bit more with the color stories. You're getting that mirror. $4, and I believe those are $3. Just put that together. $3 for e.l.f., $4 for these, and these you're getting 2 more shades and a mirror, and the color stories are a lot better. So if you were interested in these, I would choose the Essence ones over the e.l.f. ones. I even kind of prefer this type of formula where it's more densely packed, but still shows up because it's a lot easier for me to grab these on when I'm in a rush and don't feel like I'm putting way too much on my eyes and really have to sit there and blend it out because I just screwed my eye look in total. These I can really just go really, really quickly and blend it out, and I think I should be fine. And I've done it already because my mornings are very hectic nowadays, and I have enjoyed every single one of these, you guys. That's all that I have for you guys today. Let me know in the comment sections if you picked up any of these, how you enjoyed them, what are your thoughts, what would be your ranking of these. Again, this is a personal preference ranking, so please do not take this to heart. Do not yell at me if you didn't like it. It's personal preference, not necessarily formula, because I think they're all great. So that's it. Link down below if you want to check them out. Thank you guys so much for watching. More videos on the screen if you're interested. Until then, adios.